Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Pristine Podcast. My name is Lero, and in this video we're going to talk about 8 tips to create great podcast content. Tip number 1, understand your topic. If you think that your show isn't very interesting or the quality could be better or all sorts of negative thoughts like that, it all comes down to what your show's core message is. To build content that is meaningful to your listeners, you have to become an expert. You need to know your field inside and out, backwards and forwards. Your ultimate aim in learning about your topic is to become the expert in your field, so that when people have any information or knowledge for their question or queries, you are the go-to person they should go to. Being well-versed in your field and establishing yourself as an expert puts you in a very good position to produce very valuable content, totally original and downright fascinating. As a result of all of this, you'll be able to deliver the content in a very engaging and confident manner, which will make your listeners come back for more and more episodes. Tip number 2, focus on your target audience. So now that you've become an expert, or if you already are an expert, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I decide which topics to cover? Well, you should concentrate on a single listener avatar who can benefit the most from your content. You can't please everybody, so if you see like a topic or like a format that is trending, you shouldn't split a lot. You should concentrate on what you do to be the go-to person on your niche. Look for subject ideas in a number of ways, such as related forums or online communities that are relevant to your target audience. Read the comments on your podcast posts in your social media, or even better, ask your audience in your email list for recommendations or suggestions on how you can improve your podcast. Sometimes people give you a different perspective because they see you from outside, so they might give you actually valuable stuff that you can use. Take note then of what they tell you and use it as a base to make amazing content. Tip number 3, keep the focus on your audience. This simply ensures that great content holds the audience at the top of the priority list. Even though you're the host of the show, it shouldn't be about you at all. In your life, people who talk only about themselves are seen negatively and nobody wants to listen to them. Same thing goes for your podcast. A self-centered host does not resonate with listeners at all. Instead, they will shift their attention elsewhere. So with this in mind, when creating your content, keep an eye out on your audience's needs and see what you can do with your content to fulfill them. Tip number 4, tell lots of stories. Storytelling is a very powerful tool to connect with your audience. They elicit some sort of neural response that aids in concentration and also generates empathy for the storyteller. People can also remember stories better than any other knowledge, according to Stanford researchers. If you're finding this information helpful and you want to hear more podcasting tips in the future, then don't forget to press subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get notified whenever we upload a new video. Tip number 5, invite unique experts onto your show. Rather seek out to find some guests who have very interesting stories to tell, but are way less known. Prepare insightful questions rather than coming up with things to say on the spot. You should surprise your audience by having an excellent interview unlike anything they have seen before, So you should challenge your guest so that they can come with unique and beautiful answers. Point number 6, boost your SEO. Carefully designed episode titles are one way to effectively improve your SEO. So using high potential keywords in your title and in your overview can make sure that your podcast is going to hit the right eyes and ears. Something you can do to improve your SEO game even further is to convert your episode into show notes or even better, blog posts. Now this will make sure that all of the words you've said in your episode basically will be searchable. So when somebody searches for whatever topic you're covering in Google, all of these words will be in your website. You may have worded it slightly differently as you're talking, so people can search for all sorts of stuff. But whatever they have searched for, you're more likely to have covered it in your episode than in your title or overview. So having a blog will improve your SEO immensely. Tip number 7, create consistently. Now when it comes to increasing the quality of your content, the cheesy saying, practice makes perfect, couldn't be more true. Practicing your content creation skills will also aid in forming your personal brand. So when you create regularly, you'll relieve yourself from this burden of having a perfect content out there, because you know that you'll do the next episode tomorrow and you'll get another chance basically. So this reduces the stigma of fear and failure. Not to mention that all of this practice is going to lift your abilities and get you to higher heights. Tip number 8, make a schedule and stick to it. It's a well-known fact that if we don't make time to do something, it's not going to happen. Same goes for your content production. You'll need to set up some schedules and then stick to them in order to create all the things that you're thinking of doing. Establish a timeline for content deadlines first. and even the small deadlines of the small things you have to do to make the big thing happen, which is the episode. This will make sure that when the time comes, you'll have a wonderful episode out there. If you want to grow your podcast faster and get more of your time back, then consider outsourcing podcast editing and post-production to me and my team. To learn more, check out the link in the description. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, then don't forget to press like and subscribe for more podcast-related content in the future. I'll see you again in the next video.